Yes, good evening, USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens, alongside with the tri state area of New Jersey and Connecticut, and the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, your host with the hold on. This is your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, creator, YouTuber, Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Giants fan and New York Mets fan from the neck of the. And yes, you are now rocking with me by tuning in, listening, streaming, and watching the 427th episode of New York Avenue podcast. Man, oh man, I got some topics for you today. One in particular has to do with transit related stuff. Blackberries making a comeback and all that great stuff whatsoever. I am going to remind actually I'm gonna do a special segment of Remains to Be Seen in honor of Halloween of the um 52nd Village Halloween Parade that's going on tomorrow. And along with some Halloween events that I will get to, since I won't be able to do it in the next episode. So I want to try to get that out the way before I wrap up. So yeah. And if you are interested in getting a discount for StreamYard, all you do is check out the website. Hang on, let me just pull it up right here. Nope. Hold on a second. No. All right, there. Yeah. So if you are a podcaster, a gamer, and you are interested in getting a discount, all you need to do is set yourself an account on StreamYard. You can use your email address. You can also use your podcast email address, and and you know you you can do your live streams on different platforms like Twitch. You have Facebook, you have X, you have YouTube and other features on there. So all you need to do is check out the website right here that's on the screen right here, which is www.streamyard.com. That way you'll be able to get yourself a discount. Okay, so if you are new to this channel and this is your first time watching this podcast right here, the comedy podcast show right here, um, we are live and direct from StreamYard alongside with the comfort of my room where I do my podcast recordings. And this is the platform where I do various topics in music news, transit news in terms of what's going on with New York as far as the five boroughs, a little bit of LARR and a little bit of Metro North. Um, I also I also I also cover movie news. There's TV shows, new ones, and the ones that's returning, all the other stuff, and of course a little bit of tech and some gaming. All right, and it's based on segments. For those of you that are new for the first time, that's what this show is about. All right, so there you go, right there. All right, leave a like and a comment alongside with the topics. Tell me how you feel. And of course, and of course, Subscribe to the channel, G Money Stacks 555. In case you miss any episodes, feel free to do some catching up. And also, you can hit that notification bell so you will now be on the air live, and of course with new topics, new episodes, and all that great stuff right there. And also, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. If you have Apple Podcasts on your phones, iPads, and Android tablets, whichever device that you use, feel free to actually leave a comment in the review section alongside with 5 stars. It helps the show grow, and it gives me the encouragement and confidence for me to actually create more content, more topics, and everything else. All right. So, all right. We got some transit stuff that we got to get to. Let's cut to the chase with this. The New York Mass Transit Files. Okay. All right, let's cut to the chase with this first transit topic here. There is a disruption that's happening with the major LIRR, which is going to actually affect Long Island commuters. All right, here's what's happening here. Service on the Long Island Railroad main line will be disrupted during a weekend in November, so the MTA can perform infrastructure work. The agency said on Monday, impacting the primary rail service between New York City and Nassau and Suffolk counties. LIRR crews will perform signal upgrade work on the main line from 12:15 a.m. Saturday, November 8th to 2:15 a.m. on Monday, November the 10th. The agency said the work will require major service adjustments on the main line, resulting in service changes on the Oyster Bay, Port Jefferson, and Ronkonkoma branches, and schedule adjustments on the commuter rail's other branches. The Carr Place, Westbury, and Bethpage stations will be closed. What to expect during the LIRR service disruptions? Port Jefferson and Huntington branch. Buses will replace trains between Mineola and Huntington with trains operating in 2 sections, half hourly between Penn Station and Mineola, and every two hours between Huntington and Port Jefferson. Ooh. Buses will run every hour between Mineola and Huntington, stopping at Hicksville, Syosset, and Cold Spring Harbor only. For service to or from Carr Place and Westbury, the MTA recommends taking the Nice N22 bus, which stops near those stations and accept LIRR tickets. Limited overnight shuttle bus service will be available. The final trains to run on Friday night are the 11:23 p.m. from Penn Station and the 11:52 p.m. train from Huntington. Normal service is scheduled to resume with the 1:58 a.m. train from Penn Station and the 3:53 a.m. train from Huntington on Monday morning. Ronkonkoma branch trains will run every 2 hours and reroute via the central branch between Jamaica and Farmingdale. Trains will change direction twice, but not make stops at any stations. There will be no train or bus service at Bethpage. The MTA recommends using the Farmingdale or Seaford stations instead. If possible, commuters should use the Babylon or Montauk branches instead, per the MTA. Shit. Yeah, that's going to cause a lot of problems, and a lot of people are going to be fucking stranded. The last trains to run normally on Friday night are the 11:37 p.m. train from Penn Station and the 11:54 p.m. train from Ronkonkoma. Normal service resumes with the 12:15 a.m. train from Penn Station and the 4:12 a.m. train from Ronkonkoma on Monday. For more information about service changes is available at mta.info or on the MTA app. Thank goodness I don't take the LARR, man, especially with all the crazy service changes and of course derailments and all that other stuff. So um we got another we got another we got another issue that we got to talk about too. Um and this involves the 7 train. Let's see. Okay, so commuters on one of NYC's on repair work, MTA officials said during a monthly committee meeting on Monday. Well, damn. The setback is due to the discovery of severe unforeseen deterioration of steel support, also known as girders, that hold up the 7 train tracks and platforms above Roosevelt Avenue at the 61st Street station in Woodside, Queens. Other stations, including 69th Street and 52nd Street, are part of the construction project, which was initially slated for completion in May 2025. The work is not expected to be completed until May 2027. Yikes. Um, Due to the unexpected circumstances, the MTA must now spend an additional address the issue. A revised estimate for the full Flushing Line rehab project is now $343 million, up from the original $315 million. Damn. Damn. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Oh boy. Sorry about that. Our initial plan was straightforward. Bill Montanile of the MTA station's business unit said, in quote, replace the track and platform, replace select steel elements, and repair the majority of the existing structure. However, once concrete demolition began, the situation changed dramatically. Jeez. Yeah, that so hidden beneath the track slabs, workers found significant corrosion on cross girders, damage that had remained concealed for years. They also discovered extension decay in 23 of the 31 girders. Similar, similar deterioration was also seen on the track girders. Um, Similar deterioration was also seen on the track girders. This discovery made it clear, Montanile said, full replacement, not partial repair. Excuse me, not partial repair um, was now essential to ensure the safety and integrity of the structure. Seventh Train had Seventh Train Station has been rotting for years. Despite the MTA statement Monday, the problems at 60 at Woodside 61st Street are nothing new. In 2019, QNS, now a sister site of AM New York, reported on extensive rusting, peeling, lead paint, and deterioration at the transit hub. The report came on the heels of several incidents in which debris fell off the 7 line and struck vehicles below on Roosevelt Avenue. Um, MTA crews came in to shore up the tracks at the time to prevent further falling debris. Yet, as Monday's announcement seemed to confirm, the rust and rot observed 6 years ago were only a harbing hold on a harbinger of even worse problems at the station. So far, the 61st Street Station rehabilitation project is only about 47% complete, according to the MTA. Temporary fixtures have been installed to permit ongoing work without significantly impacting train traffic, commuters, and the community. The MTA's announcement about the delay comes after the agency began halting the 7 train express service during rush hours through November 21st. The recent disruptions are the result of the MTA's continued 7 train overhaul, which began in 2022 at Grand Central Terminal. Repairs began at the Woodside 61st Street stop the following year. Since then, stations along the Flushing line, many of which are over 100 years old, have been upgraded or are receiving upgrades. Work at the 74th Street station on the 7 has also fallen behind. A new escalator plan for 61st Street is scheduled for completion in 2026, while a new, wider escalator model is being installed behind large barricades. Um, Large barricades. The elevator and walkways into the station remain open. However, the prolonged timeline has led to increased long lines at the station elevator. The astonishing work on the 7 train can lead to delays. Jamie Torres Springer, president of MTA Design and Construction, explained that as the agency rebuilds several 100-year stations simultaneously, there will inevitably be delays for various reasons. That's astonishing work that is happening at 61st Street, at 61st and Woodside. No question. We could have just walked away and said, this is too complicated. We'll come back and do it another time. But we didn't, Torres Springer said. So that means that overall, the work on the Flushing line is going to take a little longer. The 7 train is one of the busiest lines in the MTA system, and the extended repair timeline is likely to cause continued inconvenience for thousands of daily riders. Despite the challenges, officials emphasize the importance of the work. There's going to be a car show in City Field on one of those days, and with all that inconvenience, and also another event that's happening is I believe 2 international teams are going to be playing against one another. I would have to look it up later, actually. Anyway, anyway, So, yeah, despite the challenges, officials emphasize the importance of the work. Damn, son. Once completed, this project will restore the elevator station and portion of line structure to a state of good repair, Montanile said. Montanile said. Let's see. In other transit news, we got some stuff to talk about too. Let me see if I have anything else to talk about in transit. Let me see. 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 Now, of course, this is a little recap of what happened over the summer. New Yorkers flocked to the water ready to enjoy boating and fishing as summer continues. However, with the increased shore and water activity comes a heightened need for awareness about boat safety. NYC has already had a bout of boat collisions and other boating incidents this season. Most recently, a fishing boat docked in Sheepshead Bay, Brooklyn, on Wednesday slowly sank, with all 11 people on board escaping with help from first responders. And on June 21st, a massive yacht carrying 400 passengers crashed into a dock along the Hudson River in Upper Manhattan. About 12 people sustained minor injuries as a result. And of course, as summer continues, water safety experts are urging boaters to prioritize safety to ensure a memorable and incident free season. Gail Culp of the Sea Tow Foundation, a recreational boating safety awareness group, said wearing a properly fitting life jacket is paramount for boaters of all ages. End quote. Children can't wear the next size up like they would with winter coats, she said. A life jacket needs to fit them right now to save their life. Plus, you wouldn't try to put a seatbelt a seatbelt in the middle of a car accident. So why would you try to put on a life jacket in a boating emergency? I like how they try to reference a comparison, man. Like you can't compare the two. You can't compare the two. Having fun is undoubtedly important when boating, but do so safely, Culp said. According to the U.S. Coast Guard, alcohol is a contributing factor in fatal boating accidents. According to the service's statistics on recreational boating, alcohol accounted for 79 deaths or 17% of total fatalities in the country. Wow. That's insane, man. That's fucking insane. Colt recommended designating a sober skipper before heading out on the water and packing plenty of hydrate. Boating under the influence. That's a new one right there. That is a new one right there, though, man. Oh, man. They have an engine, a sail, or paddles, she said. BUI accidents are 100% preventable. Excuse me. Considering the weather is also important when boating, summer weather can be unpredictable, with sudden thunderstorms or strong winds appearing at any time. Weather is the one thing beyond any boater's control. An article in Boating Magazines states, what is in the captain's control is how to plan for and handle inclement weather when it arrives. And by adhering to these safety tips, safety experts agree that boaters can enjoy a safe and fun summer on the water in NYC. Let's see. Let's see. Let me 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 see. Ooh. Okay, hold on a second. Hmm. Hold on, give me 1 second, folks. I think I may have. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so another thing that happened over the summer is the MTA says residents in one Brooklyn neighborhood need not worry about donning masks while crews strip toxic lead paint from the elevated tracks at Myrtle Avenue in Bushwick. But some commuters through the century-old structure aren't convinced. The agency insists the work, which involves blasting away layers of paint more than 100 years old and recoating the steel structure, is being done inside airtight containment tents with monitoring at dozens of different points around the site. Officials told AM New York the tests so far show no cause for concern. Like most paint formulas, there will be an odor that is temporary and not harmful, an agency spokesperson said. The MCA is following every national guideline that's recommended for safely carrying out this work, including required closures to contain debris. Hold on 1 second. All right. Locals aren't so sure. On TikTok, one community organizer has been urging residents to take precautions and handing out free masks through um, Cons- Cons- Consejo de los Pueblos Originarios, excuse me, a nonprofit located near the station. Others, other users have urged neighbors to mask up, posting videos of dust particles floating on the platform. Brooklyn residents wonder if it's safe to breathe. Another resident turned to Reddit 2 months ago for clarity on the works, which began in February, writing, "There are signs on Broadway saying they are removing lead, and it is a danger. The sound is unbearable. Are we all breathing in lead?" As they sandblasted off the trestles. Jeez. Okay. Replying commenters noted that residents have pushed for years to address the hazardous paint, and the sandblasting is a necessary evil, while others complain that the project has brought intense noise and disruption. On Wednesday, another resident took to social media forum to report seeing dust particles just floating in the air during the morning rush. The MTA is removing lead paint from the JMZ line, which is good, but the way they are doing it is so unsafe for those who ride the train, they posted. Let them rip the band-aid off now. Lead paint chips were flaking off the tracks for decades, getting on food and produce of businesses under the tracks, getting um, pulverized by cars on the streets, and becoming inhalable dust. Another user responded. The rehabilitation work stretches beyond Myrtle Avenue. A notice from Brooklyn Community Board 4 earlier this year said M Line rehabilitation began in February, covering 6 stations from Myrtle Avenue to Fresh Pond Road. Similar blasting and repainting have been ongoing on the J line, where crews wrapped the elevated tracks at Chauncey Street in protective coverings in 2024 before moving the project down Broadway. In April, AM New York's sister publication, Brooklyn Paper, spoke to businesses beneath the tracks in Bushwick about the headaches the ongoing construction has created. Hmm. Okay, so one local resident told the paper that the blasting is so loud it's triggered noise alerts on their Apple Watch. Oh, wow. The owner of Till Death Cafe, an open air coffee shop between Myrtle Avenue and Hart Street, Emily Burns described instances of construction water spraying into her space and worried the tarps may not be effective in containing lead dust. She added, honestly, it looks like a 3-year old took a bunch of shower curtains and made a fort. Oh, shit. Damn. Oh, shit. That's messed up. Anyway, the dangers of lead. The works stem from a campaign by locals and elected officials after tests of long falling paint chips from the J and M lines showed lead concentrations of about 63,000 parts per million, more than 12 times the federal hazard limit. Business owners and elected officials pushed the MTA to act, saying children were especially at risk from the dust. Lead is now recognized as highly dangerous to human health, particularly for young children who can suffer brain damage and developmental delays from significant exposure. Lead paint, lead-based paint has been banned for consumer use since 1978. And current commercial paints are limited to no more than 90 parts per million. When the elevated train lines along Myrtle Avenue were constructed in the 1880s, these safety restrictions did not exist. Many of the tracks and stations are among the oldest in the city and operated by private railroads nearly 20 years before the subway system opened. The MTA has committed $9 billion to repaint, repair, and rehabilitate miles of elevated structures system wide as part of its 2025 to 2029 capital plan. The J line is expected to be finished by spring 2026 and the M line by summer of that year. $9 billion, man. That's a lot. That's really a lot of money, though, man. If you really think about it, not everybody can be rich, though. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. For now, the work continues wrapped in white tarps and accompanied by the constant extent of its infrastructure. During a January meeting of the MTA's Capital Program Committee, the agency's excuse me, def, Deputy Chief Development Officer Mark Roach noted that the change in which it now removes lead paint from transit structures aims to extend the life of its assets and save hundreds of millions of dollars. Instead of lightly cleaning steel before repainting, crews will now use sandblasting, a method adapted from large bridge projects that can make paint last 30 to 40 years. The agency also revised its contracting strategy, moving from geographic to linear bundling, allowing specialist contractors to work on longer continuous sections of columns and beams. The approach is designed to improve efficiency, reduce recurring maintenance costs, and delay the need for major repairs well into the 2030s and 2040s. Dr. Michael Chari, Michael, yeah, Chari or Cherry, I don't know how you pronounce it, so please forgive me. An emergency medicine physician and medical toxicologist at Weill Cornell Medicine and New York Presbyterian Hospital, said the risk from lead paint removal depend largely on the method being used. The least safe option is dry sandblasting because you can imagine what happens if you just sandblast lead paint. It just goes into the air, Chari said. The more preferred method is wet blasting, which you mix water with the abrasives so that the dust doesn't just go straight into the air. That combined with containment is really the best practice. The MTA did not confirm which method is being used at the Myrtle Avenue station. He explained that the danger comes not only from lead, but from dust in general. The presence of dust is concerning for all sorts of containments, not just lead. He said, adding that people with asthma, COPD, or other airway sensitivities may notice flare ups during this type of work. Dr. Chari emphasized that certain groups are particularly vulnerable. Pregnant people and young children face the highest risk since lead exposure can interfere with fetal development and cause neurological damage in children. People with anemia are also more susceptible, he noted, because their bodies are more likely to absorb lead. For residents and commuters who remain worried, Dr. Chari recommended simple protective measures, wearing an N95 mask if passing near the site, wiping down surfaces where dust may settle, and removing shoes before entering the home to avoid tracking the in particles. Washing your hands after being outside can also help reduce incidental exposure. If there is concern for ongoing exposure, the best thing to do is talk with your doctor about getting blood testing, he said. Blood lead levels can confirm whether someone has been exposed at concerning levels. Chari added that New Yorkers can also call NYC Poison Control directly at 1-800 222 or use the online tool Web Poison Control to get tailored guidance after a possible exposure. Okay, so let's see. What else can we talk about? Yeah, let's do a recap. Let's do a recap of let me see. Okay, we're gonna do a little recap of hang on a second. Hang on one second. Hmm. Okay, we're gonna do a little recap of the legionnaire disease that happened um, not only in Harlem but also in Westchester County. All right, so um, that will be the start of this segment right here, chatting all the jazz. This is the segment where I actually talk about things that are current as far as what's going on. Um, not politically, but not politically, but like what's going on locally, what's going on in general. So there you go, right there, chatting on the jazz. Let's go. All right, for those of you who may not know what legionnaire disease is, I will fill you in. And this took place over the summer. This is a little bit of a recap of what happened over the summer. So that's pretty much what that is. So a sixth death has been announced in the Legionnaire disease community cluster in central Harlem, officials said. There are now six deaths, 111 confirmed cases, and seven are currently hospitalized. The NYC Health Department is currently investigating an outbreak of Legionnaire disease in central Harlem with zip codes including 10027, 10030, 10035, 10037, and 10039. In the wake of the deadly Legionnaire's disease outbreak in Harlem, the state health department says it will undertake a thorough review of the city's response. The outbreak, which claimed six lives and made more than 100 people sick, has been linked to 12 cooling towers, a number of them at city owned buildings, including Harlem Hospital. Scientists are using DNA to determine which cooling tower or towers made people sick. Um, Water collected from the cooling towers is being tested in a week-long process at the Department of Health lab for Legionnaire, Legionella. Um, we're very thorough, so it takes time to utilize all of those methods and pull all of that information together. Dr. Enoma Omoreji with the Department of Health said. Now, for those of you, let me just see. For those of you who may not know what legionnaire disease is, let me just break this down though. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah, let's break this down. What is legionnaire's disease? Okay. All right. So Legionnaire's disease is a severe form of pneumonia caused by the bacterium Legionella, um, pneumophila, pneumophila. Legionella bacteria are found in natural water sources such as lakes and rivers. They can also grow in human-made water systems such as cooling towers, hot tubs, showers, air conditioning units. People become affected when they inhale water droplets containing Legionella bacteria. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy, right? Yes, it is. So the symptoms include fever, cough, shortness of breath, muscle aches, headache, diarrhea, nausea, and confusion. Risk factors: people with weakened immune systems, smokers. I don't really smoke. People with chronic lung disease, people with kidney disease, and people over the age of 50. Diagnosis: Legionnaire disease is diagnosed based on symptoms, chest x-ray, and laboratory tests to detect Legionella bacteria. Excuse me, Legionella Legionella bacteria. Sorry, just bear with me. Um, so treatment for Legionnaire disease is treated with antibiotics. Most people who receive treatment recover fully. Now, prevention: maintain water systems properly to prevent Legionella growth. Use caution when using hot tubs, showers, and air conditioning units. Avoid smoking. Seek medical attention if you experience symptoms of Legionnaire disease. So that's pretty much what that is right here. So there you go. There you go. Let's continue where I left off, where we left off here. Let's continue where we left off here. Where's the story? Where's the story right here? Where's the story right here? Yes. Yeah. So in the wake of the deadly Legionnaire's disease outbreak in Harlem, the state health department says it will undertake a review of the city's response. The outbreak, which claimed 6 lives and made more than 100 people sick, has been linked to 12 cooling towers, a number of them at city owned buildings, including Harlem Hospital. Scientists are using DNA to determine which cooling tower or towers made people sick. Water collected from the cooling towers is being tested in a week-long process at the Department of Health lab for Legionella. We're very thorough, so it takes time to utilize all of those methods and put all of that information together. Dr. Enoma um, Omoreji with the Department of Health said. Another method involves placing droplets directly on a plate to see how the culture grows, which takes 10 days. Those are just two steps in the effort underway to identify the source of recent deadly legionnaire disease outbreak and bring it under control. Another lab analyzes cultures taken from patients from who have tested positive for the disease. Further testing identifies the specific strain. From there, the isolated specimens from the towers and the patients are taken to another floor for extraction. We move, we remove the DNA from the bacteria. Dr. Aaron Olson with the Department of Health said. The DNA is then loaded into a genome sequencer that runs for up to 40 hours. The things that are actually doing the chemical reaction determine what that genetic code is, Olson said. The sequencers generate hundreds of gigabytes of data, which is then analyzed to see if there's a match. The goal is to pinpoint the exact cooling tower that sickened a particular patient. It's the kind of detective work that goes on year round on a number of public health threats. We are working on foodborne outbreaks. We're doing surveillance for ticks and mosquitoes. All of that work has to get done. We don't stop doing that work, Dr. Reggie said. And also in Westchester County, let's talk about that. Two people have died and dozens others have been sickened in an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in New York's Westchester County. A White Plains resident and a New Rochelle resident died, officials said, but did not offer any details as to where the other cases were located or when they were diagnosed. The public is just hearing about this now, Ronald J. Catter, a New York City attorney, said. Where is the urgency? Two people have died and 37 have been sickened in an ongoing outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Westchester. And this is from People. One person died in White Plains and another in New Rochelle, Westchester County. Health Commissioner Dr. Sharita Amler announced during the Westchester County Executive's press conference that took place on September 8th. She did not offer any details about when the deaths occurred, when no sickened were diagnosed, or where in Westchester County, West they live. Two people died and 37 were sickened, and yet the public is just hearing about this now. Ronald J. Catter, a New York City attorney, told Patch, where's the transparency? Where is the urgency? The Westchester its citizens in the dark, and that's unacceptable. Legionnaire's disease is a type of serious pneumonia that's contracted by inhaling mist that contains Legionella bacteria, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. These bacteria tend to grow in warm, stagnant water, particularly in places like cooling towers, hot tubs, and other man-made water systems where water stands or accumulates, Dr. Amler explained. Historically, We have seen more cases of Legionella during the summer months, and this summer has been especially hot and humid conditions, and these have created an ideal environment for Legionella to thrive. Dr. Amler went on to say that the cases of Legionnaire's disease have increased since last year. The news comes after an August outbreak in Harlem, which sickened 114 and killed 7 people. It was linked to cooling towers in specific buildings, including the City College of New York's um, Marshak Science Building, Harlem Hospital, a sexual health clinic, and residential towers. Westchester County has 561 towers. Associate Sanitarian Matt Smith said, which are regularly tested for the presence of Legionella. Cooling towers are often a source of Legionnaire's disease outbreaks because they are filled with water. According to Johns Hopkins Medicine, if not properly maintained, the water can foster Legionella bacteria, which can then be swept into the system's fan and circulated throughout the building's air. Symptoms of Legionnaire's disease can include a cough, fever, headaches, shortness of breath, and nausea, and can be treated with antibiotics. In serious cases, it can lead to lung failure and death. Oh boy. Yeah, so there you go right there. Let's see. Let's see what else can we talk about here. Let me see. Um, all right. Um, okay, Teyana Taylor. Um, yeah, so Teyana Taylor said doctors found a non-cancerous growth on her vocal cord that's caused her discomfort. The singer says she now has to undergo emergency surgery and step back from upcoming engagements. She thanked fans for the support and says she can't wait to be on the other side of this. Teyana Taylor revealed she has asked to undergo surgery for of a growth on her vocal cord. So there you go. Um, and this took place on Wednesday, August 6th. The Gonna Love Me singer posted on her Instagram stories and opened up about the recent health scare and how she needs to take time away from work to heal. I've been quietly dealing with some vocal challenges for a while now. And after a lot of back and forth with my doctors, I've been told I need vocal surgery immediately, she wrote. They found a non cancerous growth on one of my cords that's been messing with my voice and causing real discomfort. Thankfully, we caught it and it's treatable, but it does mean I need to pause and give myself time to fully heal, as she should. Taylor, age 31, said that it breaks my heart that she has to step back from her upcoming engagements, including on an appearance on Michelle Obama's podcast on Martha's Vineyard. The musician and actress said that she's frustrated because she poured so much of myself into the next chapter. However, she assured that her album and its accompanying short film Escape Room was still releasing August 22nd. Just as I was getting ready to finally share this with you, life handed me my own unexpected escape room, one I didn't ask for, but one I know I now have to way out of find my way out of with patience, rest, and faith, Taylor said. This moment hurts, she added. I wanted to give you everything, the full vision, but please know I put my whole heart into this music, this film, this rollout, and when I return, it'll be with even more fire, more purpose, and the best version of me. Thank you for rocking with me through through it all. She ended her post for the grace, the love, and the space to heal. I can't wait to be on the other side of this, stronger, softer, and singing again. This isn't the first time Taylor has dealt with a health scare. In 2021, the singer underwent emergency surgery in Miami after finding lumps in her breast. In an episode of her and her her and ex-husband Iman Shumpert's reality series, We Got Love, Teyana and Iman. The artist's physician, Dr. Altman, performed a biopsy on her dense breast tissue and sent the samples out to pathology. The results came back fine, even after what her doctor described as being a complicated procedure. I just want this to be the last time I go through this, Taylor explained during the episode. Cancer runs through my family, so it's a scary thing, both for me and Iman. My number one priority is to hurry up and get back home, but I know I need to take care of what I need to take care of as well, she said at the time. After some time recovering, Taylor looked back on on the operation, noting that it was worth undergoing the procedure in the long haul. I accept every single body scar, everything that comes with mommyhood, but the changes physically, mentally, emotionally, it's crazy, she said. As mommies, we really are super women. It's been a rough year for me, but I feel like I like overcame it and I did a great job of balancing everything. Trying to be mommy, trying to be a wife, trying to be an entrepreneur and everything else I have going on, added Taylor. I just want to enjoy this moment and try not to think of the negative. Yeah, I can agree with that. And that's pretty true. So there you go. Let's see. Let me see what else to talk about here. Let me see. Let me see if there's anything. Um, Wait a minute. What's this about rip currents? Hang on. What's this about rip currents? What's this about rip currents? Hang on a second. All right. Rip currents. Here's this. Rip currents at the beach. Okay. Okay. Rip currents at the beach. Wait. Um. Okay. So, little recap of what happened over the summer. Um, According to the New York Post, just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. The Big Apple had deceptively perfect beach weather Friday with sunny highs in the 80s. But many city swimming spots were closed due to dangerous conditions from Hurricane Aaron's aftermath. Hotspots including Rockaway Beach, Coney Island, and Manhattan Beach were shuttered Friday as massive waves and strong riptides threatened to suck away swimmers and surfers. State-run Long Island beaches were closed just for swimming. Let me see. Oh boy. So the storm could also put a damper on New Yorkers hoping to take a dip in the ocean over the weekend, when the weather will also be sunny and warm, said what Fox Weather meteorologist Cody Broad. Saturday will be a nice clear day, but that doesn't mean beaches will be safe, said Broad said. If you are going to the beach, be on high alert. It's not something you should take lightly. Um, Beachgoers should check for high surf warnings, flags, and possible closures on Saturday when the riptide threat is forecast as high. The threat is expected to move into the moderate category by Sunday, he said. I would not assume the conditions are calm. It takes some time for the waves to reset after a storm like this, Barad said. While the city beaches were totally closed, Governor Kathy Hochul on Friday banned swimming at state-run beaches on Long Island, such as Jones Beach State Park and Robert Moses State Park, due to flooding and rough surf. We must ensure that beachgoers aren't put in harm's way, Governor Hochul said in a press release. Um, um, George Gorman, a regional director of state parks, said officials will analyze surf conditions Saturday morning and then make the call about whether to whether to close beaches. We're looking at wave height, intensity of the wave, rip currents, and strong undercurrents, Gorman told the Post. We're looking at all of it. On Saturday, the weather is expected to be sunny in the low 80s in New York City, and Sunday is forecast to be mostly clear and slightly hotter in the high 80s. It's gonna be great. There, there may not even be a cloud in the sky Saturday, he said. Let's get rid of this. Um, it it was a very hot summer to start here, and now we're turning the page. Parts of the New Jersey shore were flooded Thursday night and Friday morning, prompting rescues, road closures, and evacuations as Hurricane Aaron churned north. More than 10 people were evacuated from storm threatened homes in Atlantic City, where there were multiple beaches, multiple beach rescues. Scott Evans, the city's emergency management coordinator, told the Philadelphia In- Inquirer. 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 Um, Road closures were also reported in Burlington County and Cape May County, which put a flood warning in effect until 2 a.m. Saturday. While it existed, while it happened, it was less than we were fearing. Not surprisingly, coastal flooding was the big concern. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, who had declared a state of emergency, said at a press conference Friday, Cape May County probably got hit the hardest. Coastal flood warnings, including on the New Jersey shore and parts of Long Island, are expected to be lifted Saturday, Broad said. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Teacher Bay. Oh boy. Yeah, let's talk about that too. Hang on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Yeah, I forgot about this. All right, so this is from ABC7. Beaches across New York City reopened on Saturday following Hurricane Aaron's exit over the Atlantic Ocean. Um, Although there will be plenty of sunshine and warmth, a high rip current risk remains across city beaches, making conditions still dangerous for swimming. Officials are urging beachgoers to only swim when lifeguards are present and, if possible, avoid being in the water altogether. During beach season, lifeguards are on duty daily between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. The reopening comes after 3 days of closures amid Aaron's coastal impact across beaches facing the Atlantic, including those across the city on Long Island and the Jersey Shore. On Long Island, Long Beach in Nassau County anticipates swimming to resume on Saturday. Beaches in Suffolk County remain closed through at least through Saturday morning as lifeguards make a decision on red flag warnings. On Saturday morning, New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced that swimming has resumed at Jones Beach State Park and knee-level wading at Robert Moses State Park in Babylon. Hochul added that state park lifeguards and staff will continue to monitor the potential for dangerous surf, rip currents, and coastal flooding over the weekend. Meanwhile, residents in New Jersey are awaiting a decision on their beaches. Here's what we know so far about the status of other area beaches across the tri-state. Starting with Long Island, the Suffolk County Department of Health Services announced that the closure of all Atlantic Ocean beaches, as well as all beaches on the southern shoreline of Fisher's Island in Suffolk County, is being extended and will remain closed through Saturday morning. Weather conditions significantly improved on Friday, but the waves remain rough and the rip currents are strong on Long Island as well. Coastal flooding and beach erosion also remain concerns. On Jones Beach, Saturday's scheduled Summerfest was postponed. East Hampton has reopened its beaches to foot traffic, but swimming and beach driving are still not permitted. But some good news, Long Beach anticipated that swimming would resume on Saturday. Jersey Shore, New Jersey officials have yet to announce plans for beaches this weekend after Governor Phil Murphy declared a state of emergency on Thursday afternoon as Aaron battered coastal communities with strong winds and waves that flooded streets and eroded beaches. Murphy warned that life-threatening rip currents will be present at all ocean beaches across the state for the next few days. Absolutely no one should be in the water today or tomorrow, he wrote on social media. Despite the strong currents and powerful wave action, swimmers in Seabright were daring even though the sign leading to the beach warned people to stay out of the water. The temptation to take a dip in the ocean is appealing, but there are no lifeguards on duty, so there is a big risk. Officials are asking everyone to be patient. Jersey Shore towns saw some street flooding during Thursday night's high tide. The main street is Avalon, became a river, and the same happened in Margate. The Back Bay Buckheads helped to keep the water from rising in Seabright, where there were no major issues from Thursday night's onslaught from Aaron. Okay, okay, there you go. Now, now let's get into. Hold on a second here. Where in the hell is? Okay, let's get into. So there was a story a couple weeks ago involving a teacher, and here's what's going on here, according to the folks from TMZ. Um, Miss Williams, a viral influencer and educator known as Teacher Bay, is defending her work aesthetic after critics online accuse her of dressing inappropriately for school. We caught up with Williams on TMZ Live Wednesday amid the controversy, where she made it clear the hate is unwarranted, as she hasn't broken her school's dress code. Per Williams, she strictly follows her school's clothing rules, accusing her critics of judging her based on her body shape. She adds, they are complaining about my shape. That's all I see. It's shape shaming. That's it. I don't see anything else. The teacher believes trolls wouldn't be in an uproar if a less curvy teacher wore her form-fitting business attire to school. Williams feels confidently that the criticism. Hang on one second. Yeah, that the criticism is rooted in jealousy too, and notes. Oh boy, hold on. Yeah, yeah. Criticism is rooted in jealousy too, and notes she isn't the only teacher to be posting her outfits of the day on social media. Though Williams is facing the heat online, she is grateful for the support she's received from her students and fellow teachers at school. She continues, everybody loves me. They think I dress nice. I don't have nothing to say about my students or my staff. Sounds like Teacher Bay won't be called to the principal's office anytime soon. Leave her alone, man. Like, whatever clothes she like, come on. That's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous, man. Anyway, next we have Drake. So, according to Hip Hop DX, Drake is adamant that he is a good person. Speaking to his fans during a tour stop in Amsterdam, Netherlands, Drizzy had a few things to get off his chest. Um, he said to the sold out crowd, I didn't get here by being a piece of shit. I didn't get here by being a snake. I didn't get here by being a dickhead. I got here by by being good to people, being nice to people, and my karma is straight. That's why I'm still on stage in 2025. Drake then teased his new album, saying, "I'm working on this album for y'all, Iceman. We got a lot to talk about. Trust me." Drake has already released two singles from his forthcoming album. Um, The most recent track was Which One, a collaboration with British rapper Central C. According to early estimates, Which One will be at number 7 on the Billboard charts, giving Drake yet another top 10. It is not as high as previous single What Did I Miss, which debuted at number 2 but has quickly fallen down the chart and is not expected to be in the top 15 despite only being released at the beginning of July. Drake's first European tour in 6 years has so far been eventful, with the Which One rapper taking time out of his time in um, Birmingham to honor rock legend Ozzy Osbourne, who was from the city. The Six God took to the stage in the UK's second city, walking out to Black Sabbath's iconic hit Iron Man to a rapturous reception from the audience. He then said to the crowd, "Hey, Birmingham, rest in peace to the legendary Ozzy Osbourne." He also had a slightly scary encounter with a female fan in Manchester. Drizzy was walking through the crowd. Um, Drizzy was walking through the crowd when one woman got very close to the rapper, catching his attention as security guard grabbed her. As he makes his way past her and looking visibly uncomfortable, the Six God says, "I thought we knew each other for a second. Are you crazy?" Walking up the stairs, Drake then cracks, "I thought that was my ex." Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh man, that's crazy. That's really crazy right there. All right, so all right, let's get into Foot Locker hires Nike VP behind resale scandal. Um, Here's what's happening here, according to the folks from Complex. Um, Foot Locker has hired former VP of Nike North America Ann Freeman, previously known as Ann Hebert, as the president of its North America operations. News of the hire was announced today when Dick's Sporting Goods confirmed it has completed its acquisition of the retail chain. In a press release from Dick's Sporting Goods, it confirmed that Freeman was formerly a longtime executive at Nike. Freeman at Nike for more than 25 years before stepping down in 2021 after it was discovered that her son Joe was using a credit card under her name for his reselling business, West Coast Streetwear. While an internal investigation by Nike showed Freeman did not violate any company policies. Both parties decided it was best for her to depart from the company. Then in August 2022, footwear company Allbirds announced it brought Freeman on its board of directors, which was the first time the former Nike VP took on the Sir name publicly. Damn, damn, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Hold on 1 second. End quote. I am thrilled to join and lead Foot North America at such a transformative moment. Freeman, the new president of Foot Locker North America, said, "Together we have an extraordinary opportunity to build on Foot Locker's rich heritage and deliver innovative experiences to a variety of foot, footwear consumers, from athletes to sneaker enthusiasts and everyone in between. I look forward to working with the Foot Locker team as we accelerate growth, enrich our brand partnerships, and inspire the next generation of consumers." Yeah. Um, it's crazy. Read somewhere that Foot Locker is going to be closing their locations and stuff. Um, so there you go, right there. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's talk about the T app for a sec, man. Let's talk about the T app, man. Hold on a second. T app. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, T app actually. Get let's get a look at that. Hold on. What's going on here? Hold on. Hold on. What's going on here? Hold up. All right, let's talk about the controversial app, the T app, and Crunch Tech mentions. Okay. All right. So let's get into this controversial app from TechCrunch. Um, all right. So controversial dating safety apps T and T on Her have been pulled from the Apple Store because they failed to meet Apple's requirements around content moderation and user privacy. The company also said it saw an excessive number of user complaints and negative reviews, which included complaints of minors' personal information being posted in these apps. Apple communicated the issues to the developers of the apps, a representative said, but the complaints were not addressed. Specifically, Apple cited violations of its app review guidelines 1.2, 5.1.2, and 5.6. Rule 1.2 says apps with user generated content should offer reporting and blocking features and should remove objectionable objectionable content. Rule 5.1.2 says apps can't use or share someone's personal information without permission. And Rule 5.6 says excessive customer reports and negative reviews violate Apple's developer code of conduct. T and T on Her have generated a lot of headlines and interest since going viral earlier this year. T, which had quietly existed since 2023 before picking up steam in 2025, was pitched as a dating safety tool for women, somewhat similar to the Are We Dating the Same Guy? Facebook groups. Oh, shit. Oh, man. The app encouraged women to spill details about men, particularly those on dating apps. This included their personal information, Yup style reviews, and whether they dubbed them a green flag or red flag. Many men, however, didn't appreciate the app's invasion into their privacy and questioned whether sharing information like this could be considered defamation. After going viral and generating controversy, she suffered a data breach over the summer, with hackers gaining access to 72,000 images, including 3,000 selfies and photo IDs submitted for account verification, as well as 59,000 images from posts, comments, and direct messages. Later, a rival called T on Her launched to offer men the ability to dish on women in the same way, but it was beset by security issues that exposed users' personal information, including government IDs and selfies. TechCrunch discovered in August. Um, App Figures says the T app saw 6.1 million total Lifeline downloads and had generated $5 million in gross revenue to date. Wow, really $5 million? Yeah, yeah. All right. Um, okay. $5 million. Huh. Um, T on Her had 2.2 million downloads and didn't offer in-app purchases. It notes the apps remain live on Google Play for now. With their App Store removal, however, copycats are gaining traction. For instance, an app called T on Her and Him Overheard has 354,000 total downloads and has jumped from number 90 on the overall top app charts to number 27. Damn. Also, I want to touch on the Blackberry phones making a comeback. Um, mhm. This is from Tech Advisor. So let's see. So, a new BlackBerry phone was supposed to launch in 2021 with the brand seemingly back from the dead. Yet again, no such handset emerged, but that hasn't stopped a fresh swell of hype around classic BlackBerry headsets in 2025. Many phone brands and operating systems have fallen by the wayside over the years, including the might of LG and Microsoft's Windows Phone. BlackBerry has had a storied history from the phone of choice for businessmen and women to the choice of brand for teenagers chatting online, thanks to the rise of double BM, which is BlackBerry Messenger. Fast 25, and suddenly the famous brand is making waves again. But why are BlackBerry phones suddenly popular? How how are old models getting relaunched, and should you get on board? Let's take a look. Is BlackBerry making a new phone in 2025? In a word, no. Don't expect there to be a new BlackBerry phone anytime soon, or possibly ever. As alluded to at the top, there was supposed to be a new BlackBerry model in 2021, but it never happened. More on that later, but something else is afoot with BlackBerry interest. Something you could consider to be a new BlackBerry phone in 2025 in a way is via a Chinese company called Xinhua Technologies, which is reviving old models by upgrading the hardware and software to fairly modern standards. The first is the BlackBerry Classic Q20, which will be relaunched as the Xinhua Q25 Pro, since it's 2025, with the phone getting a new processor, RAM storage, battery, 4G LTE support, and cameras, as well as getting loaded up with Android 13. Xinhua says it will allow users to enjoy the phone comfort in 2025. The device is shipping in September, which already happened, and cost is $400. Xinhua has also confirmed that similar refreshes of the BlackBerry Key One and Passport are on the way, which we assume will be called the K25 and P26. Another new BlackBerry-esque phone leaked on Reddit in September 2025. The Xinhua Q27 has the classic BlackBerry style design, boosting a 3.92-inch display and 3127, yet boosts more premium specs such as a MediaTek um, Dimensity 7300 processor and 12 gigabytes of RAM, plus a nano SIM card slot. Perhaps the increase in hype around the old brand and phones will cause some interest in a new one to be made by BlackBerry itself, but don't hold your breath. There was also a recent spark of interest via a rumor posted on Reddit. It was speculated that an unnamed UK startup that was seeking pre-seed funding. Um, to revive the BlackBerry brand to relaunch the as well as other models. It was posted a few months ago, but has now been deleted by the user. Though this doesn't necessarily mean it was wrong or is no longer on the cards. The post included a screenshot of a slideshow presentation edited because the user's company had signed an NDA with the rumored startup. it could be that they got a lot of heat for this and decided to remove it instead of causing problems. Some rumor specs for the device included an AMOLED screen, QWERTY keyboard, 5G connectivity, and Android 15. Why are BlackBerry phones getting popular in 2025, you ask? There's a sudden hype for BlackBerry largely due to a viral trend on social media. It appears that some Gen Zs, after recycling various other 2000s trends and fashions, have adopted BlackBerry as a new go-to mobile phone option. The idea being like basic Nokia's is that it's a way to detox from the um, addictive nature of a full-blown smartphone. Less doom scrolling in app purchases, binging YouTube videos when you should be asleep, and such like. It's appealing to me, and I'm not even close to being Gen Z. Viral TikToks Viral TikTok hits include this below clip from Shozy underscore 055 with the caption POV. You bought a Blackberry in 2025 because your iPhone is ruining your life, and has a whopping 6.6 million views. There are also plenty of YouTubers reviewing phones like the Blackberry Classic in a still worth classic in a still worth buying way. It seems to be a follow on trend from the flip phone challenge, where you ditch your modern smartphone for an old style classic flip phone like the iconic Motorola V3 for a period of time, or as long as you can. It's something it's something our mobile editor tried for a week. I'll bet not a flip model. Ironically, most of the videos going viral about ditching an iPhone or Android phone for a BlackBerry have been posted on TikTok, one of the apps we should arguably all be reducing our screen time on. It doesn't even run on a BlackBerry. Can you still use a BlackBerry phone in 2025, you ask? There's certainly nothing stopping you from using an old BlackBerry phone in 2025, assuming that the device is in working order and you have a compatible charger. You can even put your SIM card in it and pretend the millennium just happened a few years ago. The most recent molds are the 2017 Key 1 and 2018's Key 2, both made by TCL under license and running Android. There was also the popular BlackBerry Passport in 2014. Yes, we've reviewed many BlackBerry phones over the years. If you want a genuine classic BlackBerry, then look to models like the Q10 from 2013 running BlackBerry OS 10. Or if you want a more old school option, the Curve 8520 from 2009. Both have the iconic physical keyboard, as does the Bold series. One of the most popular models being used and re-reviewed again in 2025 is the BlackBerry Classic, a 2014 model which was the last to offer the truly iconic rounded form factor with modern specs and features. However, it's worth noting that you won't have support for various modern apps since the operating system is now effectively defunct. That includes WhatsApp. So while you might be able to detox from addictive games, hang on a sec. Come on. Yes, addictive games and apps, you won't have those DMs and group chats that you likely rely on. Um, yeah. There's also a potential security risk, just like older versions of Android and iOS. The lack of security updates means you might be exposing yourself to cybercrime. You might argue that attackers will be targeting operating systems with a larger user base. But if BlackBerry usage starts to increase due to these viral videos, that will likely catch the interest of hackers. If you do decide to use a BlackBerry with or without a SIM card, avoid using any banking apps or other high risk services, whether you can find an app to download or access it via a browser. It's not simply worth the risk. Stick to the basic low risk apps as a rule of thumb. Where to buy a BlackBerry phone in 2025, you ask? While you can't just walk into your phone network store and buy a BlackBerry, there are plenty of ways of getting hold of one. You might even have an old one lying in a drawer or cupboard. But if not, you can easily source one from the likes of eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, or or Set or Sex, CEX. Not the other word. You know what I mean? So most can be bought for um between $10 to $50. So now is a good time to list it and make some money if you don't want to join this trend. Is there an alternative? You ask. If things like the security risk or lack of supported apps put you off using an old BlackBerry, you do have other options. As mentioned earlier, you can order the Zenwa Q25 Pro, um, an upgraded classic with Android. Oh boy. With classic Android 13 and new hardware, but it will set you back a cool $400. Damn, $400? Sheesh. Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. What is going on with this thing? I don't know what's going on here. $400 for wow. If you want a physical keyboard, clicks cases are popular. And if you are trying to reduce your screen time, then you can use apps like Opal and Forest. Never heard of it. Another option is to buy a modern dumb phone, which are a good balance of nostalgic, simple, and secure. Um, Let me see. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous, man. What happened to the new BlackBerry in 2021? In short, it never got launched. At least not under onward mobility steam, not anymore. But what happened? A new BlackBerry Android phone was originally slated to arrive in the first half of 2021, according to Onward Mobility's initial 2020 press release on the subject. However, a year on from that initial window, no such berry has had materialized. In late July 2021, the company, jeez, jeez, man, yeah, the company announced its pre-commitment program, offering fans and businesses a means of providing input on the development process of the first 5G BlackBerry, as well as the opportunity to gain early pre-order access once the phone was ready for its debut. While the program's sign up page didn't reveal any additional information about when the phone would actually be ready for release, it did provide some insight into Onward Mobility's progress with the development of their device already underway at the time, but a final engineering design or specs and features had not yet been locked in. In light of legacy BlackBerry devices officially losing software support on January 4th, 2022, attention quickly turned back to onward mobility, and the apparent radio startup had slipped into after mid 2021, leaving fans completely in the dark about the progress of its debut device and when to expect it. Checking in on January 5th, 2022, the company's website was stagnant, still only making mention of a 2021 release, with no new posts or activity in months, covering both the site and its social channels, making a win increasingly look like an if in the eyes of hopeful BlackBerry fans. Um, Following mounting attention from media and BlackBerry enthusiasts alike, however, a new blog post um, appeared on Onward Mobility's blog just a day later, um, January 6th, entitled "Contrary to Popular Belief, We Are Not Dead." In the post, Onward Mobility acknowledged that any public facing communication and vowed to deliver more regular updates starting this month that will clarify and answer many of your questions concerning the development of its debut device. With regards to the silence up until this point, um, the post's opening paragraph stated 2021 was truly a challenging year to launch a new phone, much less one with the high expectations we set and the fact that we want to get it right, citing unspecified delays that prevented the company from shipping its debut smartphone in 2021 as had originally been promised. Okay. Oh my gosh. Um Even with Onward Mobility's seemingly renewed commitment to bringing its debut device to market. However, it turned out that BlackBerry had other plans not long after. On February 10th, Crackberry. Oh, crackberries. Oh, man, crackberries. Oh, boy, that's funny, man. That's funny. That's funny right there. Yeah, Crabberry's Kevin um, McCulloch described the project as dead as of yesterday, stating that numerous sources had verified that Onward Mobility's efforts had sunk. Blackberry had chosen to cancel Onward Mobility's license, a move that itself had followed on from the Canadian company selling off the last of its mobile pa- patent portfolio, reportedly to the tune of US $600 million. This loss of the BlackBerry branding paired with the difficult and protracted timeline with which Onward Mobility was having to deal with, all apparently contrib- contributing factors in its decision to abandon the project. Less than a week later, the company announced that it was shutting down entirely, with its website being replaced by a single statement, thanking fans for their support and announcing the decision to shut up shop. Damn. The only part of the original announcement that hinted at the specs of the phone stated that there is an absolute need for a secure feature 5G ready phone that enhances productivity. That's still pretty vague, but suggests that BlackBerry, the company, was likely involved at the software level as it was with TCL's licensed phones. While the cancellation of the Onward Mobility license was something of a surprise in the saga, the preceding trend of BlackBerry selling off its catalog of patents was nothing new. Over the years, the company had been busy shedding its mobile patent portfolio, with 90 sold to Huawei, Huawei as of mid 2021. Though admittedly that's a drop in the ocean compared to the purported total haul of 38,000 patents it was at one point in possession of. Feature rich perhaps means that the new BlackBerry was meant to be an all singing, all dancing high end device, unlike the Key 1 or Key 2 5G. Don't need to tout the latest, most powerful Snapdragon chipsets. But it could have helped the new BlackBerry more staying power with the Key 1 in particular runs pretty slow today and was not well future proofed. Onward Mobility's intended device apparently took a lot of cues from 2015's BlackBerry Priv, the last phone BlackBerry itself made, and also the first BlackBerry to run Android. Yeah, so there you go right there. Yeah, there you go right there, folks. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Yes. Before I go on to video game news, I want to do a um special segment actually. So let me just find it. Let me just find it. Okay, so so here it is. Remains to be seen. Let's do this. Remains to be seen, kid. Get it? Remains to be seen. With Halloween happening tomorrow, I wanted to discuss and remind y'all um in regards to the 50 Village Halloween parade that's going down tomorrow. I want to actually talk about this right now, so I don't have to worry about doing it in the next episode. So let me just look for it. Hang on a sec. Let me just wait for it. Let's see. Let me see this thing. Okay, here it is. Yeah, here it is. So the Village Halloween Parade NYC's creative and spooky procession is one of the best Halloween events in Greenwich Village, and you don't want to miss it. Each year, more than 50,000 zombies, ghouls, witches, monsters, robots, Jedi's, giant puppets, and more things that go bump in the night take to the streets for a night of costumed revelry. Here's a peek behind the scenes with some of the parade's most amazing artists. So let's see. What is this? So get your costume ready. The village is getting spooky. And if you need some last minute NYC themed costume inspo, we've got you covered. Um, when is the village Halloween parade in NYC? You asked. The 52nd Village Halloween Parade is on Halloween, um, which is tomorrow, which is Friday, October 31st, 2025. What time is the Village Halloween Parade? It runs from, what is it, 7 a.m.? No, wait. Is it 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.? I could be wrong on this though, but I could be wrong on this, but it says 7 to 11 p.m. So in 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Okay, so 2025's route, the Halloween parade typically runs up 6th Avenue from King Street to 15th Street in Manhattan. For more information, you can visit HalloweenNYC.com. This year's theme is potluck. Potluck. As the event organizers say, come on in. The table is set. We saved you a seat. It's a potluck. When we do it together and care for one another, there is enough for everyone. The theme references our divided times and encourages us to come together. At its roots, Halloween is a harvest feast, a celebration of abundance that defies the scarcity of winter, organizers explain. So this year we fling open open our door to strangers, one and all, to share in a movable feast. Who is the grand marshal for this year's um, village 52nd Village Halloween Parade? In keeping with the theme, this year's Grand Marshal is City Harvest, a local organization that rescues fresh food and delivers it for free to New Yorkers experiencing hunger. As the parade celebrates community and abundance, City Harvest leads the way in feeding our city, parade officials said. Representing City Harvest in the parade will be famed restaurateur and philanthropist Simon Kim on a on a cornucopia theme float. How do I march in the village in the 52nd Halloween parade in NYC? It's free to march in the parade, but costumes are mandatory. The procession lines up at 6th Avenue and Canal Street and rolls out from 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. North and west entrances to 6th Avenue will be blocked off by 6:30 p.m. Folks can join the line from East Broome, Sullivan, and Canal Streets east of 6th Avenue. We recommend gathering your fellow creatures of the night a few blocks away rather than trying to find your group in the middle of the chaotic lineup. If you want to skip the line, there are a variety of VIP ticket options. Um, where can I watch the 52nd Village Halloween Parade in NYC? Spectators can get to 6th Avenue early and grab a lookout spot before the parade rolls out at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Avenue becomes most congested with spectators between Bleecker and 14th Streets. So we suggest setting up camp at either the head of Spring to West Houston Streets or tail 14th Street to 15th Street of the parade. Of course, there are also VIP options for watching the parade, which you can check it out here. If you can't make it in person or just want to skip the crowds, you can watch the parade on Spectrum New York 1 from 8 to 9:30 p.m. All right. So there you go right there. Let me see. If there's anything else I need to talk about. Okay. Let me see. I know I was watching this week in regards to Blood Manor. Y'all can actually check that out as well. Yeah, I can check that out as well. And earlier I was looking at New York Living, and one of the reporters was at a place in Manhattan. I forgot what it's called actually. Was it Abracadabra or something like that? I'm not too sure. Yeah, you can check that out as well. They got costumes, all that other stuff in there too. Let me see. All that's in there as well. Let me see if there's anything else. Is there anything else? Yeah. So there you go right there. There's also some other Halloween events that's happening. Les Bal Macabre. There's also Find Your Boo Halloween Singles Party. Early bird tickets are $25 if purchased online beforehand. Otherwise, they are $40 at the door. So the night ends around 2 a.m. Plenty of time to find your person for life. Oh boy. So things will kick off around 8 p.m. with a scary movie icebreaker designed to get conversations flowing. The rest of the night will be full of dancing with a DJ spinning hip hop, R&B, and top 40. Costumes are also highly recommended as there will be a costume contest voted on by all attendees. The night ends around 2 a.m. in the morning. Plenty of time to find your person for life or just the right. Yeah, so Silent Scream Halloween Silent Disco Extravaganza, which is happening tomorrow. Need some plans for Halloween. Queens iconic Bohemian Hall Beer Garden will play host to quiet events. Silent Scream Halloween Extravaganza, a silent disco experience from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on October 31st, which is tomorrow. And of course, this features hold on. Upon arrival, every guest will receive glow sticks and a pair of glowing wireless headphones to wear for the night, which will play 3 different live DJs spinning different genres all night. Pick from the red channel to hear 80s and 90s throwbacks. The blue channel will have hip hop and R&B. Green will have EDM and a top 40 playlist. The night promises costumes, craft brews, a full bar, and a historic beer garden as the backdrop. Tickets are $25 if purchased early online or $35 at the door. Okay. Boo Bash 25. Boo Bash 2025. Okay. On Halloween night, step into the shadows of the financial district for a night of cinematic mischief and Halloween heat at NYC's very own Crimson Continental Club, aka the iconic spot where they filmed some scenes from the John Wick movies. The doors open at 8 p.m., arrive before 10:30 at least, and start off with some drink specials until 9 p.m. to fuel up before the mayhem begins. The rest of the night will have DJs dancing and, of course, wicked costumes. The night doesn't end until 1 a.m. in the morning, so you can keep the dance floor alive all night long. Expect a night that feels like a scene out of a movie, and you are the star. Early bird tickets are on sale now for $25, or you can get in for $40 at the door. Oh boy. Okay. Let me see. Of course, you got the Vampire Ball Halloween. Of course, early arrival tickets are on sale now for $35. Get them soon before the price increases. So you have Halloween in East Midtown, and it starts from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is going to take place. So let me see. So this is going to take place at 919 3rd Avenue. Yeah, 919 3rd Avenue near 56th Street, or Sunrise at East 56. You can check out more information at their website here. No One Tell. Yeah, so No One Tell. So that's gonna be pretty much what that is. Yeah, No One Tell. I don't see the street address for this event. So let me see. Yeah. Let me see. Okay, Night of the Zombies Skate Night. So there is this. So the fun doesn't stop on Halloween night on Saturday, November 1st, aka the Day of the Dead. Join Vinyl Nights Night of the Zombies Skate Night, presented by Rebecca Lynn. Spend the night in Bushwick at Xanadu with the thriller dances of the NYC Parade, and enjoy lively performances from DJ Misbehavior, Operator EMS, and Carolzilla. And don't forget, the dress code is zombies. The event is from 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. Showtimes at 9 p.m., 10:30, and midnight. Also, don't miss the costume contest at 10:35. Lace up your skates for a fun late night out. All right, so let's see. Let me see. Pumpkin Smash is going to take place at Pier 84 on Saturday, November 1st, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. All right, so let me just go through some stuff. Let me see. Hold on. Trick or Streets. That's a very interesting one, actually. So that's an interesting one. All right, so the event is planned between October 17th and October 31st, which is tomorrow. So let me see. Expect everything from pumpkin patches and hay bale photo ops to live performances, games, and Dia de los Muertos celebrations. A full list of Trick or Streets events and participating locations will be available on the NYC DOT website, because in this city, Halloween is best celebrated curbside. Yeah, you can check out their website over there. Um, yeah, I'll talk about the street closures of the New York City Marathon in the next episode. And this is Cabaret per cent meow ween. Oh wow. Okay, that's a weird one, but okay. That's a weird one, but okay. Damn. Oh shit. All right, so okay, for the Halloween edition on Friday, October 31st, come in your most cat-tastic costume for a chance to win the contest. The show's hosted by local cat lady Gemma Smith and includes free cat ears for all. The lineup includes the Randy Andes, a post-modern Broadway vocal trio, putting a feline twist on classic pop hits. Femme appeal, known for delightfully weird performances. Nessa Lozano with a live performance piece. Joy Vicious as a Cheshire Cat, James Caroni, a cat-loving comedian, and Kinsey 3 with a campy cats mashup. Stage kitten Jenny Person, founding executive director of the Cat Museum of NYC, and Amanda B, host producer of the 6 Degrees of Cats podcast, will lend a hand or paw. Of course, you can make sure you check that out as well. The name of the show is 6 Degrees of Cats podcast. All right. So there you go, right there. Now it's not saying what the street is. So actually, you can go to Rescue NYC, Bronx Zoo Harvest Glow, every Thursday, Sunday through Sunday until October 31st. Families are invited to explore this immersive jack-o'-lantern trail with its own spin. The 5,000 pumpkins are animal themed, of course. Senses will be heightened as you explore illuminated ecosystems through the use of music, special effects, and dramatic lighting to make sure that you really feel the spookiness. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. And if that wasn't enough, visitors will have the opportunity to live in the Mesozoic era while walking amongst over 60 animatronic dinosaurs and pterosaurs at the paired with the darkness. This prehistoric adventure is not to be missed. Also expect pumpkin carving demos, games, face painting, and tons of photo ops. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else Halloween related. If there's anything Halloween related, I already mentioned Blood Manor, and I already mentioned what is it, Abracadabra. Make sure y'all check that out as well. So I think, wait, Frankenstein film. Oh wow. Let me see. So it's in theaters now. Yeah, the Frankenstein thing from Netflix is in theaters now. Make sure you go check that out as well. So I guess that's about it for the Halloween events. For the Halloween events. So let me see. Let me make sure I look for let me see. Okay. If you are in the areas of Paris, Chicago, Los Angeles, the New York areas of the 5 boroughs, or any other areas whatsoever, and you're looking for some fun activities to do for the week and weekend, you can check out www.timeout.com, and you're gonna see things to do. It has different categories, things to do, food and drink, culture, theater, travel, Timeout Market, Brooklyn, Timeout Market, and Union Square, um, and everything else in between. All right, so there you go, right there, www.timeout.com. There you go. All right, all right, all right. Another segment that I want to actually get to is hang on a second. Is the video game entertainment news room. All right. This is where I am covering some gaming, some gaming stories, upcoming games that's coming out, and all that other stuff right there. So here it is. Here it is right here. Video game entertainment newsroom. All right. Here we go. Come on. Hmm. Okay. Now we can talk some gaming stuff. All right. Let's see. Where were we on the gaming stuff? The gaming stuff. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. I'm pretty sure y'all probably know what happened with Amazon and all other stuff, the layoff situation and stuff. So here's what's going on here. According to videogameschronicle.com, Amazon is making significant cuts to its video game business and moving away from double MO development, it's announced. In a message to staff reviewed by Bloomberg, the company said it would eliminate more than 14,000 corporate jobs, many of which affect its game development and publishing business. Specifically, the San Diego and Irvine development studios, which are responsible for double MO's New World and an untitled The Lord of the Rings game, have seen significant reductions, according to Steve Boone, Vice President of Audio, Twitch, and Games. While we're proud of our success in first-party AAA game development and publishing, we have made the difficult decision to halt a significant amount of our first-party AAA development work, specifically around double MOs within Amazon Game Studios, he wrote. This includes making significant role reductions in our studios in Irvine and San Diego, as well as our central publishing team. He added, Amazon Games, Orange County, formerly Double Helix Games, which is based in Irvine, California, released New World in September 2021. The layoffs comes days after Amazon relaunched its Luna gaming service, which has been redesigned to appeal to a wider range of players. This includes the addition of Game Night, a new selection of party games designed for casual players. According to the internal memo, Amazon will continue to work on various game projects, including the next Tomb Raider game with Crystal Dynamics and Maverick Games open world driving game. While these while these changes are significant, we still have a lot going on in game development, Boom wrote. Our Montreal studio recently concluded a successful closed alpha of March of Giants and is working hard to finish the game. Our Studio 5 team just released Courtroom Chaos, starring Snoop Dogg as the launch title in Luna, and will continue their focus on more casual and AI focused games optimized for Luna. And finally, and finally, we are continuing to work with our external studio partners, Crystal Dynamics, on an upcoming Tomb Raider title and Maverick Games on an upcoming open world driving game. And of course, one more video game topic involving electronic arts. Electronic arts staff are finding it a challenge to carry out management's demands that they use AI, which is artificial intelligence, for just about everything the company does, a new report claims. Business Insider spoke to a number of current EA staffs who say the leadership has spent the past year urging its roughly 15,000 employees to use AI for a wide range of tasks, from making code and concept art to advising managers how to speak to staff of subjects like pay or promotions. Hold on. According to the AI tools they are encouraged to use produce flawed code that has to be manually corrected. Others on creative teams worry about that because they are expected to train AI software by feeding it their own work. The demand for character artists and level designers will drastically fall. One former Respawn employee who worked in a senior QA role says the reasons he was among 100 colleagues laid off this past spring is because AI was reviewing and summarizing feedback from play testers, a job he usually did. Business Insider also received internal documents that show that some EA employees are expected to complete AI training courses, use AI tools daily to speed up their work rate, and treat generative AI like a thought partner, asking it for advice on like how to phrase questions when a promotion is denied. Ooh. Damn. As the article notes, EA stated in May as part of its annual 10K Securities and Exchange Commission filing that while it was making more use of AI tools, it had to acknowledge the dangers of these tools being used incorrectly. We are integrating artificial intelligence tools and technologies into our business and development processes, EA's filing read. The use of artificial intelligence might present social and ethical issues that, if not managed appropriately, may result in legal and reputational harm, cause 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 consumers to lose confidence in our business and brands, and negatively impact our financial and operating results. According to this year's Game Developers Conference survey, a majority, 52% of developers reported working at companies that utilize generative AI tools. July analysis by Totally Human found that the number of a number of Steam games disclosing the use of generative AI has been increasing, with around 20% of all games released in 2025 to that point disclosing the use of AI on Steam. Given that this disclosure is voluntary, it's also likely the actual number is higher. This is some scary times right there, man, about artificial intelligence, man. Steam currently doesn't make it possible to filter its games so that only those without AI generated content can be viewed. But SteamDB has now added this filter. All right. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up right now, actually. Okay. Last segment of the night is stream choices on the go. All right. All right, folks. To all the listeners out there, make sure you follow Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast on Facebook, Blue Sky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes with my other podcast shows that I do, which is my Sports Edition show, Excellent, Fun, Vibrant Talks podcast, and my entertainment review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, as well. And you can also follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York, on Threads and Instagram. All right. So if you go to the link in bio of either my primary or Threads or my comedy podcast page, you're gonna see Linktree / G Money Stacks 555. When you see it, you're gonna see a whole list of audio streaming podcast feed links, and this includes Odyssey, Audible, Audioburst, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating alongside with a review. It helps the show grow, and it gives me the confidence to create more content, more topics, and new episodes. All right. So following podcast feed link is Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Moon FM Podcast, Overhaul FM Podcast, Pandora, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podopolo, Podorama Podcast, Index Podcast, Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic. You can also listen on. You can also check out the podcast episodes On Spotify, you can add the podcast to your Spotify playlist in case you missed all the episodes. Make sure you turn the notification bell so you'll know when each episode will be dropping. You can also listen on Spotify for creators, TuneIn Radio, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the #1 app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, including rap, um, along with other music artists in different genres. You can also listen to your favorite radio stations on the AM and FM. And of course, you can listen to the podcast episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download iHeartRadio onto your phones, your iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android, Android, um, Android tablets. Um, Laptops include Apple, Mac, and Dell laptop models. All right. Um, and also don't forget, and also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel page G Money Stacks 555, where you can see all the episodes being uploaded to the YouTube channel page. In case you miss any of the episodes, you can feel free to actually catch up on the episodes whatsoever. And and of course, make sure you share the podcast with your friends and everybody else. Make sure you share it. Make sure you share it with your husband. To me, if you share the podcast, you can also hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment alongside with the topics in each episode. Express your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me how you feel about the topics in today's episode and previous episodes whatsoever. Um, and also remember if if you like, of course, make sure you enable out on when I'll be on the air, more video episode live streams, and of course, remember every every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, new episodes will be dropping. I couldn't drop the previous episode yesterday because I was very tired. Um, also, also, um, also, if I'm not forgetting anything, so yes, so there you go, right there. Um, all right, listen. I like to listen. So that's it for me. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, rhymes with now or later, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for tuning in to this episode dedicated to the Blackberry topic. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it, because it's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. Um, you have to also don't let anybody stop you on any type of career. If you start a podcast, it's never too late. Doesn't matter what age you are whatsoever. You find your niche. um be yourself behind the microphone, mentally, physically, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. And also I'd like to remind y'all, voting it already started right now. And the last day to actually do your early voting will be November the 2nd. And also, speaking of November the 2nd, make sure you switch your clocks and watches back an hour, because what's going to happen is the sun is going to be going down at around 5 o'clock. So you'll be getting more darkness instead of daylight. So that's pretty much what that is, though, man. And also, I will be reminding y'all about the street closures. Tune in next time where I actually remind y'all on some street closures that's happening, especially with some subway service changes, along with everything else Halloween related, and along with other topics. I will have more topics, new topics. I'm going to be signing off. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time on the next episode. Peace and one love. Peace and one love. And I hope y'all enjoy your Halloween night. And happy Halloween in advance, all right? Peace, one love, and be careful out there, especially in subway stations and subway trains at all times. If you're going to go to Halloween events, take some friends with you, cousin, relatives, whoever you got in mind. All right. Peace. Take care of yourselves. Good night, everybody.